This is on. Welcome everyone. Thank you. So hello. We have a quorum? We're missing someone though?
No, I think got everyone.
We're not. Okay. This is at 5. And there's our commissioner. So okay, I'm kind of faking it right now, but I'm gonna establish a quorum at 6:30 p.m. We're gonna call this meeting to order. 6:32. Um, everyone had a chance to look at the agenda for for tonight. And if you have, and let me know if you approve of the agenda or give me a motion.
Approve the previous agenda. Is that how that works? Or
Yeah, then we'll do the minutes later, I think.
just a little nitpick. My name is still misspelled. God
Can
dang
I have it one more time?
Yeah. FIROR. And on the email group, it's still on
Okay.
Friar
I
too.
think is it Fry? Fria. Okay.
Yeah. I'm no Friar.
FIROR.
Yeah. I think it's catching up with me. Thank you, Emily.
Thank you.
So yeah,
Wait a minute. Which is the agenda?
this is this week, and I believe the last two is last week.
This is the second one.
Minutes.
Last.
Minutes.
Yeah, minutes.
But we're just approving the agenda.
Okay, thank you.
So, Chris, you have a motion to approve the agenda with the changes to your name?
Yes.
Okay. And do we have a second?
Thank you.
Thank you, James. All in favor of approving the agenda for tonight's meeting? Say aye. Aye. Motion carries unanimously. So I guess we can have a meeting with this agenda. So thank you, public, for being here tonight. We'd be happy to hear from you. Do you have anything to share with us? Yes, sir.
Kent Sawatsky and I was really pleased the other day to hear of a plan to take what we always knew as the dump site down here, a piece of property, which should have been developed for parks and recreational and trails and things years ago. But now it was announced by, I think, Amanda Mager that that's part of a process. And I think that should be fast tracked. I think we shouldn't wait for other projects. It's got easy access from both sides then of the project. They're anticipating a bridge coming from the Taylor Way side. And then I think Ivy Lane goes right down there. There was a little comment that distressed me that the people on Ivy Lane were quite relieved that that was not to be an access. But I'm old and the shortest distance between things, so we need a dual access to that. It's in the middle. And I just hope that everybody, when that gets developed, the person who made the comment might have a conflict of interest. And I don't care if they put 4 stop signs and 6 speed bumps down Ivy Lane if they have to, but I think it'll be a prime area for us to have a great park and recreation area for the kids, whatever you guys develop down there. And I'm sure probably maybe next meeting you want to agendize that as far as starting input and find out what the project might be and start doing some input and get some public input. So that's something I think maybe later on you have future agenda items. In case I'm not here, I'm thinking you might want to put that on there. So thank you for my opportunity to speak in my name.
And just to clarify, you're talking about the Taylor Way past Fish Brothers.
Yeah, the old dump site right down here. It's the Blue Lake dump. It used to be a dump for us, so we've been around forever. It hasn't been used for a long time. It's accessed currently by Ivy Lane, I believe, is the current.
Okay, so it's on this side of Powers Creek.
This side of Powers Creek, correct?
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah, right there.
Creek from the bike park.
Yeah, it'd be a perfect way. The kids don't have to go anywhere on any roads to get to the bike park. They'd have direct access down there, very safe way. And I always want to have the kids have a safe way to get to where they're going to go.
Yeah.
No matter what, they'll take the shortest distance, even if they go through the woods. So
thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Can we talk about that quickly because that's interesting? Like the property at the end is like with gravel.
Park.
Okay, so we're talking about going right behind those. So I'm trying to think of what road Ivy Way is.
It's like it's right up as you go that way past the park. It's the first.
You're going this way. It's that left.
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Right at the end of the ballpark.
The left. There's a Anyway, it's marked IVYE is how it's spelled.
Okay.
And it's I think it's the last.
It is.
The last left
It's right there at the end of the ball field on the left.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's a dead end right now, and they're talking about punching it through so it accesses that trail.
Probably just not a road through, but just a bridge for bicycle and pedestrian have. But that's planning process, and then if you want something different, that's what I.
Okay.
Yeah, it was part of the presentation.
It was part of the presentation that Manager Mager has been making to the various commissions. And that was recorded and posted economic development, I believe. Yeah, economic development and also arts and heritage last month both got the same presentation, so you can watch that and see what the maps look like and the mock-ups and all that different stuff. So so you have an idea, what the footprint is and how it connects to everything else.
Okay.
And you can find those videos. Justin is posting those videos on his YouTube page.
Mm.
So if you don't already know, what is it? Blue Lake Community News. And if you find that on YouTube, there's a video button, and you can see all the last year plus of commission meetings and council meetings and all that sort of thing.
That's so exciting. That's what I'm going to do tonight when I get home.
Yeah, yeah.
Put your feet
Grab
up,
a beer.
fire.
Yeah, put your feet up.
A year or two from now, you can watch your shining face.
Thank you. Please.
Kit, I'll come up so Justin records it. I'm Julie Christie. I've known Jan and Bettina, and I've been watching you on Justin's community stuff.
No.
Avid city council attendee for many years. And I just want to give another shout out to Justin. He's doing this kind of off of our community dollar a little bit donations. And it's a huge resource that we have him. So anyway, we can always maybe stick in little stuff with Parks and Rec that maybe we have a little fundraiser for Justin. It's a great archive for future commission members, or even say meetings get canceled repetitively. You can go back and be like, okay, that's what we did. That's what we said, doing minutes again. It's very productive. So Justin's an awesome asset that our community has. And I always just want us to have a lot of appreciation for that resource. I would also like to get back on what Elise and Kent were mentioning with the Powers Creek master plan. That was something that I advised also at Planning Commission that they maybe refer back to staff to get that presentation. There's actually a separate one that they had prior to the commissions getting it. That's actually more in depth. It involved a lot of other people from other aspects of the, I think Kata city planner or guy was on there, some other people, but that one's actually even more in depth than the ones that we have from the commission. So that is out there too. But I think it's really great that we always take advantage of our open space. Bettina knows me real well, good advocate for having our recreational areas, Jan too, little kid, So still supporting all that cool guru stuff we have in our town. It's such an amazing thing that I love that my children get to enjoy it now. So thank you for everything you guys do. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for coming and speaking.
Julie.
Appreciate it.
I've been between chores and the office.
All right. So, anyone else care to speak to us tonight? All right. So let's move on to upcoming events. Looks like the bike rodeo giveaway and lawn day is in a week or two on June 14th. In Perigo Park from 4 to 6. Bike rodeo so that's the bike for kids biking day. We used to do it over here in the parking lot.
Yeah, we had something this last week and we realized the Pony Express days were going on. So we got about 15 families that came and got helmets, but we figured we would do it again on the day that we advertised that we raffle off the bike.
Oh,
So about 10 spots around town, businesses or like the Grange, different places, they have tickets. And so if you rode your bike during the month of May all the way to June 14th, they throw it in there. And
Oh.
they'll be donating $1,000 from Revolution Bicycle
wow.
to a bike of their choosing.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
So June 14th is a
A Friday.
Friday.
That's
Okay.
after school for the kids.
After school. Okay, great. And then the Bill Nestler Car Show is July 13th and 14th from 9 to 5.
Saturday too. On Saturday, it's the afternoon, so we just have kind of a lunch and then a cruise around town, and then people get a good layout of where they want their cars. We are also going to have a fun zone this year for the kids and try to group it with a get out and play day to get more people beyond just the participants coming out. And Low and Slow will be a part of both days for the meals.
Sure. So it's not 9 to 5 both days, just one of the two, or?
Just Sunday is the
Okay, thank you.
yeah, bigger day.
Okay, and then on the 14th is Annie and Mary Day from
Yeah.
11 to 5.
And we have exciting news. Justin might be able to help share, but we have a original Mad River train coming this year for Annie and Mary Day. So
Whoa.
it's going to give train rides to kids. We were contacted by the Timberland Association, and they're going to donate $1 back from each ride to the chamber, and it'll be along the Annie and Mary Trail.
Wow, neat.
Yeah, super cool. RCMBA is going to do the beer for this side, and then the Saddle Club has offered to do beer for the car show side because many of our participants have mobility access issues, and so that'll allow them to enjoy that. The museum's doing pie, and then we have a few food trucks and little entertainment scheduled in between there, and Folklife is doing the music this year.
Can folks have beer just out on the street?
If it's within the event parameters, so we're
Okay.
gonna have this all shut down.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
okay. Um, all right. Well, it sounds like an exciting couple of months.
When's the parade?
It'll be that day. I believe you start lining up from 11 and it takes off at noon.
And what's
I think the parade starts.
It
Yeah, it starts at 11,
Okay,
yeah.
starts at 11.
what's the route?
That's a Mandy question.
It's
Mandy's
usually-
the one that's taking the parade.
It's gonna go past the Grange to the Logger Bar. It's gonna take a left past the post office, pop up by the fire hall. It's gonna continue past City Hall here and then back out through the corn store and back to Taylor Lake.
Awesome.
It's historic.
Perfect. Yes.
Ken,
Can I make public comment?
of course.
So I attended all the supervisors meetings and I did a shameless advertisement for Annie and Mary Day because they were talking about parades and they said, you guys ought to come out here. It's fantastic. So we really do need to get that out there. And I strongly recommend that you get our supervisor or Steve Madrone 5th District to sponsor that on the supervisor's agenda. That can be brought up and talked about. They say what a wonderful thing. We get a lot of free advertising. For the few people who pay attention to what
Yeah.
happens in the county, it's a wonderful thing. And then that I'm quite connected with the Timber Heritage Association, and we talked about. I'm sure it won't be the real train because that thing doesn't function yet. I mean, that probably needs a couple $1 million worth of restoration. I'd love to. In my will, it's going to say fix that train, but I'm just guessing maybe they're bringing their speeder out here, and they have some portable tracks. Sometimes I've heard
Oh,
if they're doing anything, or maybe they have another one now that will work off track.
right.
So that's most likely what they will be doing out here. And if I'm wrong about that, I'll be corrected. But I'm not aware that train's still a few years down the road. I remember back in the day, they actually did have it out here working and stuff in its time. And I remember back as a kid, they actually ride in the train up and down the track. So maybe someday, but not quite yet. They have to.
Born here, Ken?
No, I came here when I was 5 years old and lived
Right.
up on Buckley Road. So that's 65 years ago. I've been here.
65.
Pretty well all I know in my life is here. I consider myself a local. Let's put it
Oh,
that.
yeah. You're the local.
Not a citiot. We refer to the people who come here and stir up stuff and leave at the end.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Wow, yeah, I was gonna say, Kent, if the number 6 is coming here, that is a big deal. That's a huge engine. That's the Blue Lake engine that they had.
And someday we can put her up to Timber Heritage Association and in between now and when they actually try to restore it, which they may never do. But to get it back out here in some form so that the local people can enjoy it, might be a really neat thing to have here somewhere out here, a real feature and attraction. So.
Yeah. And then years ago, someone stole the bell From I think it's the number 6. It's ours, right? From Blue Lake. Someone stole a bell, and it was missing for years and years. And then years and years later, they were doing some weed whacking out there by Glendale, and they found they threw them in the bushes.
Amazing.
Yeah. So,
Wow.
Is that the museum?
well, I'm imagining it's still with the number 6.
Oh, good point.
Yeah.
Now, I'm happy to reach out to them because I do work quite closely with them and have for many years. So, and see if there's any chance at all of some artifacts being brought out here. They have a wonder. Have you ever been out to the museum out there? It's a wonderful place. You ought to see. They could bring out some of the smaller artifacts. They have those hit miss engines. They have a whole bunch of things that would really be historical for Blue Lake and be an asset for Annie Mary. Probably not this time, but in the future.
Cool.
So that the train rides are Sunday.
They're gonna bring it, I believe, Saturday and Sunday. And to my understanding, it's the speed track that Kent mentioned, and then they're bringing an actual old car to look at, which I think is obviously a non-operational. But Glenn had mentioned it was up along the Mad River Railroad or something of that nature, and it sounded like it was something where people could go in and look at the historical train car and.
Yeah, they have a caboose out there. Maybe they're bringing the old caboose. 'Cause I think that's portable.
Yeah, it had a number associated with it too.
Betty into this.
Exciting, yeah. Who's the promoter of the parades? Mandy is taking over the parade, and there's a few other individuals helping her. And we're trying to get some of the kinetic sculpture constructions involved as well
Really?
to come out.
Oh, neat.
I think we're gonna have a whole bunch of horses this year. There's a rumor we'll have some horses.
That'll be
Yeah,
great.
a lot of horses this year, so
Wow.
might check with Ernie.
Is there any more public comment?
Sure.
Do you guys still want to have any commission discussion on Annie Mary Day?
I don't think we do, but do we? But you're welcome to say whatever you want.
Yeah. I try and
It's Blue Lake. Come on.
Anywho, yes, Annie Mary Day. I'm just coming in with just a little different perspective on our day. I know it's the Chamber of Commerce that really dictates that, and I understand that. I've been along even before we used to have pony rides when Kira was doing our Parks and Rec. I would take my horses and lesson students down and donate all the money back to the Parks and Rec and petting zoos, lots of years.
Yeah.
And everything's really got its feet more on the ground now, which is super. But we have another local event that happens the same weekend. It's Orc Rodeo. And so for the past several years, I've gone up and volunteered to help them out. And I just feel like we have such small little town events. And I know we've got Pony Express, and then we kind of go into the Redwood Acres Fair and all these events all the time. But if there ever was a chance, there is a really beautiful weekend at the end of July. It's usually a really open weekend. It's the weekend after Fortuna Rodeo. There's nothing really else going on competing with it. But just putting that thought suggestion out there, I know there's a lot of other entities very involved with Annie Mary Day. This isn't your decision, but you could perhaps send a recommendation out that we reflect back on our attendance over the past few years. And if there's ever a way that we can help, because we have vendors too that would like to be in both places, participants in both places. Fuel in the economy right now is really tough and hard on people to have multiple events in one weekend and children. So just a thought that, as we progress maybe in the future with Annie Mary Day, that we really try and progress in a way that we're coinciding with other local events, not conflicting with them and making people pick and choose what they get to do for that weekend. So just a thought. It's a great event. I'm so happy it's really kept its roots, and I can feel confident to go help somebody else keep their roots. Yeah, but it's tough not to be here every year too. I really do miss it. Yeah.
Historically, has it always been July 14th?
No, we used to have it in June, I believe. In August. Yeah,
Okay, so it's
flexibility in the past.
It has.
But there's a lot of groups involved with that decision making. So just
to them.
perhaps a reflection on attendance, reflection on everybody else's attendance, and maybe in the future it might be more productive that we're not piling all the same stuff on the same weekends.
Got you.
We only have so much time though, I understand that. But
All
that
right.
was my thought. Yeah.
Thank you.
Have the farmers market at the same time too, because they're fizzling here. They're not putting
Yeah.
out. They do it good. But if they could be here during Man and Mary Day and they really knock the heck out of their thing, then they most likely come back more frequently, bundle of things. Okay, just another thought.
Appreciate you guys.
I would like to address that question. You actually happen to be in the room with two members of the Chamber of Commerce at this particular moment. So I would like to address that. We are looking at possibly changing the date. It's already been talked about. We're trying. This year will very likely be the last year. It will be the week that it is.
Oh,
So
okay.
next year
That's good.
we plan on changing that because we understand that that was an issue and we would like to correct that. So Chamber of Commerce is already on top of it, but unfortunately it was too late to change this year.
What
Perfect.
day are you looking at? Do you know yet?
We have multiple ideas at
Oh,
this
okay.
particular moment.
Never
It's
mind.
frankly it's a year away. So but yeah, we'll have plenty of time to come up with a new date, but at this particular time we do want to change it. We just don't quite know when yet. But we will be changing it.
I'll speak on that too. Last year, after Annie and Mary Day was when we had motioned to approve this year's date in July. And I agree wholeheartedly with Kent that, our community's so small and tight knit. It'd be great for everyone to enjoy all the different events and not be competing the same weekend like we have the last 5 to 10 years, I think. I think there might be a good opportunity for a community survey because I've heard the end of August or end of July, first few weeks of August is kind of that range of when to have it. I'm interested if there's a particular weekend that people feel would be the best. But I think moving into next year, if the other chamber members are in support, then we'll be looking for a new date moving forward.
Yeah.
I think busting out a big calendar and
Mm-hmm.
and logging all the events, Org Rodeo, Fortuna Rodeo.
I'm really happy to help you out.
We would love people on the chamber too. We're rebuilding, and we meet the second Monday of every month at 5:30 here. So, yeah,
Chamber does?
the chamber
Okay.
does.
You want to make sure the car show's got to work too, right? So
Absolutely.
Flash with it.
And they'll be the same day. So whatever date that changes to.
So you guys will be working on that calendar and then
Mhm.
approving a day for next year.
Absolutely.
Sounds good. Thank you, Julie and Justin. Appreciate that. Okay, let's go on to number 5. Does everyone have a chance to look at the minutes from last time? And if you agree with them, if we can have a motion.
Unless someone else wants to be the secretary, I'm not attached. And there was silence. Okay.
We were all here last time.
Right, team. All right.
No.
I thought she'd come in later. The tail end,
Yeah, she was here.
Yeah, I thought you.
not the whole thing.
I don't remember. So do I have a motion to approve the minutes from the last month's meeting?
A motion to approve the minutes.
Thank
I'll
you.
second that.
And all in favor? Say aye. Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Oh. I guess if I hear 5 ayes, I don't have to say nay, huh? Anybody have a nay? No. Okay. All right, so
You're not looking at me. Giving you a hard time.
you didn't see who made the motion for the secretary, did you? Bill Nestler car show. Annie and Mary Day update. Did we already do that?
Well, it was in public comment a lot.
Yeah.
Anybody else have anything to say about that? I think we covered it. All right. We just make sure that we make sure the car show fits in with the date next year, like Elise had mentioned. Okay, so Mad River Access. This golf course. Ooh, that's exciting. Discussion.
Oh, I think we skipped one.
Oh, number
Oh, my
seven.
bad.
Number 7.
Mission ad hoc update. Friends of the Park. Oh, this is
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Friends of the Park volunteer program. Okay, so Chris and I went through this big binder here, and it was a very organized program. I mean, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. It's all here. It just has to be reinstated, basically. Um, Chris, do you have anything to add?
No, like you said, it was just the template there. Just a matter of updating email lists, putting word out there to garner some more interest. See if we can reestablish.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's Friends of the Park program. It's a volunteer program for the community to help different aspects of maintenance and things around the park. And they had like a lot of people signed up, and then they they delineated the jobs that they wanted done, or they prioritized them, the things they wanted done, that kind of thing. How did you initially get the volunteers? Or this wasn't, this was before
This
your
was
time?
years ago, I think 2014 or
Okay.
long.
So I'm just wondering how they went about and got the people. Like,
Mhm.
do we send out notices and ask people? Do we?
Know a couple people on that email. I can just double check with them, see if they remember. Like,
Oh, okay.
signed up for it.
Oh, okay.
You can do that.
And maybe Elise and I can go through the list, and you can help me, like, if these people are even around anymore. Or
Recognize it.
yeah. And then we can start getting this started again.
That would be great.
Yeah. One of the things I want to mention, it's not really a part of this, but I'm a pickleball player over here at the park, and one of the things that Friends of the Park could do is mop the floor.
A crash.
Yeah. There's been a dirt spot like for 6 weeks now, and now there's more. I mean, it's like it looked like a deer died. That's what I said.
That's not good.
But
Where my deer? Oh dear.
anyway, I just think that floor needs to be spot cleaned once in a while. And I don't know if your staff is going to do that, or if the maintenance, you know, staff could help you with that.
Generally, we contract it out and they have a floor buffer, and then we spot clean as necessary. But then
Okay.
again, there are spills, and sometimes they dry.
Yeah, I think just a spot
Don't get
clean
addressed.
mop would be great.
Where about in the rink? Is it in the center?
It's on the right side going towards the boys' bathroom.
Okay.
Okay, so would anyone else like to help us with this? Or if you have names that you know, people that might be interested in the Friends of the Park program, that would be helpful if you could forward us some names. Retired people are great. Uh,
Give us some ideas of the things that
Okay.
they ask people.
Okay. So here's okay. Beautification. Here's some projects they put down. So beautifying all the different parks, ball fields, tennis courts, horseshoe pits, bleacher areas, bocce ball courts, trails, landscaping, flowers, planters, mowing, weed eating, etc. Building repairs and maintenance, carpentry, building picnic tables, basic repairs in Perigo Park to Prash Hall, horse area fencing. This is old, remember. Repairs and maintenance of horse arena, bocce ball court, carpets, floors at Prash Hall, trails, cobwebs, exteriors, etc. Painting wherever, whenever necessary. Recreational activity additions. They added pickleball, which is cool. And then trash removal and pickup. Like, like Arcata has those ambassadors that go around and pick up trash, and I don't know if we're going to get that far, but those are some ideas that are here. And then there's actually another whole spreadsheet of them right here. weeding, beautification, painting, building, repair, maintenance, cleaning, trash removal. Basically the same.
It'd be good, I would think, to contact like the Old Crows. I know they use like the bocce ball courts a lot and stuff, so they might
Yeah.
be interested in maintaining like areas people who use them.
That's a good idea too. Yeah, like, and I was working here when we put those in, and we have a lifetime guarantee from her husband that they're going to maintain those courts.
Mike Fogan?
Yeah,
Oh, yes.
Okay.
lifetime.
Yes.
So, and I noticed they're bare right now. They don't have any crushed oyster shell on them. They're just. Do you know what's going on with those right now?
I do not. I could inquire though. Right
Gotta
now,
talk
they
to Mike.
have me checking the drains, but to be honest with you, I'm not a big bocce player. So that's something though I could tell Glenn we're gonna need. You said crushed walnut?
Crushed
Oyster
oyster
shell.
shell. And the rugby club that built that might help keep that maintained.
Lifetime.
The thickness, is it a dusting or?
No, it's like crushed, and then they roll it on.
You have to tamp it
Okay.
down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
tamp it down.
I was actually really impressed with the surface. It looked really
Really
good.
nice.
It's
Awesome.
well
Thank you.
maintained.
Oh yeah.
Oyster shells here, so we should be able to get those donated. Maybe somebody can crack them for us.
Up at like the hatchery.
Well,
Well,
yeah, they have them in hatchery, but we have some of the biggest oyster producers in the world out here in Bay
Yeah.
with the guys out there. So.
I was just thinking, as far as launching this community volunteer program, it might be, I don't know what events, maybe even Annie and Mary Day. Maybe you guys could have a table
Oh,
at Annie and Mary Day and talk about,
that's a great
this
idea.
program, and give people something fun. I don't know.
Suggestion box that people could put in suggestions for projects.
Right. Well, I'm kind of also thinking about like, how do you get people excited about this thing, and how do you show appreciation when people volunteer? And, maybe a part of that program would be a once every other month kind of barbecue, a barbecue that the Parks and Rec does for the volunteers. And maybe it's on a Saturday and you have your volunteer time is, you volunteer from 10 to 2 on a Saturday, and lunch is provided and things like that. Something to get people,
Some incentive.
a little incentive, and also just that appreciation piece where people feel like, yeah, I'm willing to go and work for the city and do something nice and help out, and yay, they're
Yeah.
gonna feed me lunch. I won't
Yeah.
starve. Anyway, it's just something, because I mean, I know there's a lot of people that are willing to volunteer, and there's some folks that do volunteer pretty regularly and do things, but I feel like we don't always show them the appreciation they deserve. So
Yeah,
I'd like
like-
that to maybe be
Are
a
you thinking
piece.
like all the volunteers come one Saturday and we give them projects and then we have a barbecue after?
Yeah.
Yeah, or
That sounds
yeah, and maybe
simple.
kind of
Yeah.
maybe a launching of the program,
Yeah.
or whatever, just something to promote it. Like Annie and Mary
Right.
might be a. And if you guys want to, the other thing is the parade. The parade has gotten sadder and sadder and sadder, over the years, and so you guys might think about having a Parks and Rec um commission float. Somebody's got a flatbed. I think, didn't you mention that you had a flatbed?
I plan on being in the parade.
Oh yeah, sweet.
Gonna try to do like a hayride. Cool.
Mhm.
Put straw bales on the flatbed, pull it with my tractor.
Mm-hmm. Very nice. Very nice. So anyway, I mean, I'm.
Can we join it?
What's that?
Can we join it, or is your
Sure.
family going to be on?
No. No, there's room for everyone.
Yeah, and I mean, if you guys could, you could be, pick a theme, straw hats and checkered shirts and whatever, and just say, hey, this is who we are. Come and join us. We're lots of fun.
I can make
You
a
know.
banner for the front of it, for like put on the bucket.
That's a great. That'd be fun.
Yeah,
Heck yeah.
yeah. We could
Great.
get the award for the most fun commission.
Thank you, Elise. Those are really great ideas.
Yeah, I like that, Elise.
Then you have a city webpage. You can announce it on there. You can also post it on the 3 bulletin post boards. That's
Yeah.
pretty simple. So.
And the post office.
And then, Jan, I can just tell you that the Saddle Club takes on that horse arena, and we kick off every year with, here it is. Here it is. With a big work party down there.
Ah,
And we have food and stuff. And so this year, when we do it right after the rainy season, when people start coming out,
Yeah.
before we start having events down there, we weed whacked down there along the bleachers. We tied the water lines back up, because the horses kind of paw at them and knock them down. We cut that hedge back there. We fixed all the loose boards. We made just extra baling twine so people can tie up, not on the boards themselves, but just on some baling twine. We cut the blackberries back. Yeah, we did that. Yeah, we tied up the lattice. We reinforced the round pen. We moved all our obstacles on one end. We kind of cleaned it up so that when people go down there, you don't have to move all our stuff all over the place. You could just use it. And then we cleared out a lot of the shrubberies on the river side, the creek side. And so it's kind of nice. You can tie back there, or you could pull your rig back there and you could be in the
Yeah.
shade, or you could
Nice.
even camp or do whatever. So we had quite a list. We had quite a bunch of people
Aren't there
show up
bleachers back there
back
still?
there.
Yeah.
And we'd whacked all around them.
Oh.
Clean that all up a little
Okay,
bit too. So
Bettina's got some experience with this volunteer stuff.
yeah, so with
All right.
Saddle Club, yeah. And so just know that
And
if
then
you
you
ever
fed
need
'em.
to ask a group about that arena, just ask us. We'll
Okay.
be available
Nice.
to help.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get going on that. Thanks for all the great suggestions.
Thank you.
Now let's talk about the Mad River Access disc golf course.
I put this on the agenda because it was brought up at the last meeting.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't been attending many or really any of those like river bar discussions, so I'm not sure. Maybe Elise knows more about some different properties that
Were
could
you
be
the disc golf
suited
guy?
for a disc
I
golf.
do love disc golf, and I apparently was disc golfing on private property because I thought it was BLM, and then I was told by multiple people that no, that was not BLM land you were on. So I'm not sure where we would put a disc golf course, but I do think it's a really good idea.
At the dump site.
What about the dump site?
I think of that all the time.
I don't know how big is it over there? I don't know. Well,
It's not, it doesn't have to be a bomber course. It could be more of a, more, I don't know. I get excited when I go
Putting
up there.
course?
When I get to that side, I'm like, we should be throwing discs over here.
there's so I'm sure I told you last time. One of my close friends was like he's really involved in the local disc golf scene, and it's a big group of people. Like
Yeah.
they so anyways, if you put in like a course that's desirable that you guys are gonna want to play, the girls are gonna want to play.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a lot of foot traffic for the brewery. Come through and getting food. People like to come out of the nice weather. So yeah. So anyways, that's a super appealing idea to me. And I think there's quite a few people that would be into it, but I just don't know where. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'll talk to him about it. He's planned some courses. They're not, I guess it just depends. And it also depends on like, a lot of times you want to make it through, you can do it different ways, but for my mind, it's cool to have some trees and stuff to kind of like guide the course. So it's not like there's baskets at the school, but every throw is going to be wide open because it's just a
Yeah.
field.
I wanted to ask about that. How many baskets are over there? I counted 3. Are there more?
Something like that. I was going to say
Yeah,
4 or
we need to
5,
get
but
over
there's
there.
not a
I just-
ton.
I don't want to be trespassing on school.
Yeah,
Every time I see
there's
them.
a lot of golf courses to it that aren't feasible for golf.
Yeah.
People don't play golf as much. Willow Creek Golf Course was supposed to be that way, 9 holes is what they had there.
Yeah.
I think they're converting it back to golf. That's what he said.
Oh, really?
Sure, maybe to try with converting it.
The pump station is not that big. I mean, if you think about it. It's,
I wonder how many acres that is.
yeah, it's to me the smallest one that I know of around here. But yeah, it's something.
What about Blue Lake Power? You could truck through the buildings and
That would be amazing. That would be amazing.
You know Kendra?
No.
Ace of the nation.
Disc golfer. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
All right. Sorry, we didn't solve your disc golf problem.
Our
Our
I
disc
won
golf,
too.
sorry.
Yeah.
Big time.
But it hasn't died. We're
No,
gonna
it won't.
keep thinking
It'll
about
live
that.
with us, Jeff.
Okay. If I get to play pickleball, you get to play disc golf.
What is like on the river
Agreed.
bar? Is there
On the
Yeah.
levee or on the
yeah,
other side?
well
There's
both.
some private property, to my understanding, that's on the county side, where the owners of the property have had significant transient activity to where it's become a big county problem to manage that. And so I know there's been discussions of possibly with the county seeing if there's any action to take that property because it's not being managed
Mm.
uh, appropriately per se. It sounds like it's a good amount near the river bar or right on the river bar. Um, but I don't know much more than that because I haven't been at the table during those discussions. I just know, I believe it's like our county supervisors and the sheriffs and stuff,
Hmm.
and the least likely know.
Well, I could share a little bit of information with you, but and I will. And but Kent was out actually attended the code enforcement inspection that happened. Was it last week? Um, and so he can share more information with you. But there's two properties on the other side. They're both on the other side of the river. One of them is part of the Marias property that crosses the river and is the fields um, east of Hatchery, right, and the old dairy up there. And then some of it is what's known as the King property, which is about 85 acres, I believe, that starts on the south side of the river and then crosses the river. And I believe it shares property lines with Gary Johnson's property and also with the Rancheria. So my understanding is that there was actually not very much homeless activity over there. They expected to find a lot more and they didn't find very much. There was only one person there. Everybody else had left because they'd put up signs that said they were going to do this code enforcement inspection. And there maybe were only 3 camps to begin with. And so the owner, my understanding is the owner has no interest in selling the property, and there's no indication that the property is going to be seized or there's no major action that's warranted. So and Kent could probably tell us a little bit more about that. And my understanding is that I think this is public knowledge that Gary Johnson's gravel yard is going to be sold, but it's going to remain a gravel operation. He's gonna keep some of the property and sell the gravel operation.
Oh, Pepe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And part of what would be a great disc golf course is his gravel yard. Which I mean that's just river bottom, and we all wander around out there all year long when it's not flooded. But I don't know. I mean, and if he's in the process, I don't know how soon he's going to sell it. But I mean, maybe you could talk to him about putting up some things that wouldn't interfere with any of the gravel, operation. But anyway, that's all I know for now.
Thank you.
As Elise said, I attended the inspection down there. I have a new friend. I had interest in it, contacted Dan King, and I was his representative for the inspection. There was only one homeless person down there. Appeared to be 4, possibly 5 campsites. One or two appeared to have been abandoned for at least a year. So the problem wasn't of the magnitude, and the county was very happy. They had probably 3 sheriffs and 3 code enforcement, and DHHS came down and got the guy. He was going to move the next day. They were getting him help. The sheriff had recognized him for 30 years ago. So,
Oh, wow.
so there's long-term homeless thing. So that's been the problem. One of the problems down there is one of the most prolific poison oak patches in the world.
Oh.
And also ticks. So the owner at one time was considering selling, but a lot of us property owners, due to one of the staff members trying to bully us into selling things, are very negative about working on those projects. And so Dan, as far as I could tell, had no intention of selling because of that partly. But you never know what the future would bring. If we have different people who are negotiating, can work with us landowners, then good things can happen. But I can't see that happening in the near future. And he kind of speaks for Mariah's. That these are both second generations. He inherited that, and Mariah's, I can't remember her name right now. She inherited also. It's always a possibility. One of the main things about your going to a gravel yard or something, the prospective buyers from Pepe are both, you know, big time operators, very reluctant to have people down there and give permission on these things because it only takes one or two people to come down. Your equipment gets sugared, your gas, you have major problems. So I'm not optimistic with the current feeling that that's the landowners have. Years ago it would have been sure everybody goes on there, and you give them permission. So you're going to have to find somebody who is actually maybe wants to participate in your process, who actually owns some river bar or something like that. But there are other areas. I don't know. Are there areas on Green Diamond property at all? Because they have, they're working with the bicycle guys. Maybe their PR would be good to let you guys work something out with Green Diamond or something. So that's just a thought. If you ever have any questions on those properties, let me know because I'm tracking them definitely.
Thank you.
You don't mind? I'd like to circle back to the dump there, the former dump, if you will. Is there anything precluding us to using that space? Is it
It's not a very big space.
a 9-hole course, 6-hole course? Something minimum. I mean, but I'm just curious. Is there anything keeping us from using that?
I've only driven down there once, and there was a dog chasing my car, so I backed up and left. I've not been down there.
Get out.
I was running.
And this is just to be clear. This is the space over by the BMX park. That's
Yeah.
Fish Hatch.
Yeah, it's Ivy Lane at
Yeah,
the
yeah. Okay,
end.
just
Yeah.
making sure. Yeah, I mean, I think it's ideal personally.
Just go
So
check
I'll
it out
go
and
there
see
start-
what
I'll
you
go
think.
check it out with you
Yeah.
too, and you could use the space over by the bike areas. Obviously, you don't want
Yes.
stuff
Yeah.
crossing over stuff, but
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
kind of
a good chunk of land
a
right
lot
there.
of parks have
Got these cool little, the humps and all that around. So
interweave
there's a
stuff.
few trees. So yeah, we should collaborate.
Yeah, when the low water year parts of the year, your course can cross the creek.
Oh wow. No, I didn't think of that.
Without.
Wow. Cool.
Yeah.
Way cool. All right. Great discussion. Thanks, y'all.
Sorry? Yeah. Julie?
Please do it.
Communication with what? Good dialogue. I just want to go back to Emily's comments at the last meeting. You were very specific that Mandy has been working on procuring river access. And then your dialogue this evening was also that there have been river meetings. I'm not sure where this direction came from, nor the direction to make complaints on the property owners. So I would like to get back to staff and a recommendation to staff that we have these discussions, in the preview of the public. I think that's very important because that's where, like Kent's mentioning, the property owners aren't willing to work with it anymore because they're having a lot of big issues behind their back and behind everybody else's, the public's back. And that's just not the way to do business. I would be one of the property owners, probably just golfing and hunting on, just happens to be that.
Yep.
But, there are a lot of, like I've issued with Marias and King, we've always been pretty cool, even though there's no trespassing signs posted, but the thing of it is the increasing of transient and fires and theft and stuff has made it hard, to be honest. And fire is actually, as a landowner, downwind of you guys, probably the biggest thing that really always is on my mind. I've put out several fires along the freeway, being vigilant. We've had fires down the river bar, being vigilant, and the next thing is the more access we give to these areas that aren't fire accessible, the more we're opening ourselves up to that potential, unfortunately. I was one of the very, very few community members during COVID 3 years ago that fought for our space on Taylor Way to remain open space. One of the few. It sucks that all that slipped through during COVID. And it still kind of breaks my heart a bit because we only are gifted so much open land. And we're blessed it's not pavemented on top of. So if you guys can just always be an advocate, slip your finger in the door for any green space that we have. Like Bettina mentioned, there are community members that will come together. We've been working to keep that arena open to the public, grassroots for how long? My grandmother, And so there are lots of grassroots that once you get invested, that they can keep that integrity there for that piece of property, even though it's city property. So that slip down there would be one of the last ones you guys got. Town Square is now concrete jungle. So just putting that out.
You guys have lived here a long time and have a lot of good ideas and knowledge. I appreciate that.
I know we're just ready to move on from the disc golf talk, but it's like piqued my interest. Is the dump area, does that border the casino's property?
I know the
No.
gravel property, right?
It does. I think one side of that is registry of water.
Okay.
Oh, really?
I don't know.
I believe so.
It,
Oh, it's that.
I spent a little time with that map I told you about, the county GIS, but I'm pretty certain
It-
that's.
it borders Vanessa Kirsten's property. It borders Heather Quisnos' property and Kit Man
Mhm.
and Jerry Stewart. And then Pepe's property as well. So it doesn't border the Kiss Rancheries.
You've got a cool program. Yes, you may.
All right. Anything else on the disc golf course? Okay. Let's talk about the bike park fundraisers, work days, promotions. How's that going?
We met with RCMBA. We had a group of about, I'd say, 15 or so that met out here, and a few different engineers for the pump course. So we're waiting to get an updated materials list and know what we're looking at, and hopefully can get some of that donated in material. And I think Annie and Mary Day is going to be a great opportunity to kind of put out that project since they're doing the beer booth as well.
Mm.
But we were discussing from a Parks and Rec standpoint, how could we offer support and kind of implement the volunteer program and gain more awareness and corporate sponsorship for the bike park. So larger sums of money that would go towards, it sounds like the asphalt will be the biggest expense right now because the lumber is going to be donated from North Fork. So, other than that, that's kind of where we're at now. I'd like to work with Andy, our web designer, to update some of our website and get some new photos and videos on there. And we discussed possibly coming out with some new branding or imaging to kind of give it a fresh feel for the project and putting a banner there, a permanent sign. And I believe RCMBA said that they would donate to get a metal sign because the banner last time kind of got blown around at the site of the bike park. That's all.
Kind of moved away from the dump site, but I'm wondering if between now and our next meeting, Emily, if you could find out, get a little more information about the current state of the dump site. I don't know if it's mowed or totally overgrown, or I don't know what it. Yeah, like you can't, like maybe there's trails
Yep.
through it.
You have to trailblaze through brush to get to it.
Oh, to get to it.
Yeah, you'll go across the creek and whatnot.
Okay.
Get to it.
Okay. Well, because at some point, whenever you guys are ready, I mean, I can put an item on the agenda for the city council if we have some idea or something and we want to try to move forward with some, I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking, we could probably we could take our next meeting, we could convene our next meeting down there, or we can end our next meeting down there. We can just say on the agenda that we're going to take a tour of the dump site at the end of the meeting, and we can all go down there and see what it looks like.
You can
or not.
access it through Ivy Lane, but then again, you might anger the homeowners that are by because it's Ivy Lane is kind of like a private lane. It's not really, but it's just the homeowners are probably be pretty curious what people are going down
Okay.
the road.
Okay. So I don't know. Maybe Emily can get us a little more information about access and what access the city has and whatnot, and we can go from there.
I appreciate you being an advocate for this project too. It sounds really cool and like it might go somewhere. One of these green spaces.
We had a guy right outside of town. You can have one of those brush hog major tools, and you can go through with taking 6-inch stuff with some of those things.
Oh, wow.
Might be worth budgeting some money to at least run the boundary of it, you know, and see what's there to give people a way to get through it and see what's there that would start getting public interest and influence.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Does anyone have any announcements?
July 19, Humboldt Folk Life Society will be having their barn dance, which is typically held at the Vets Hall. It's going to be a crash hall.
Oh, wow. Cool.
And the whole festival will now be in Blue Lake.
Really? That's awesome.
Is that open for people to go to? Purchase tickets?
Yeah,
Cool.
it's free. It's their celebratory annual.
Awesome.
Typically, the Vets Hall has been the host of that. They've always wanted to have it here.
Huh.
With the improvements, they've made a crash hall and take advantage of that.
That's great.
Is it all ages?
Yes.
Okay, thank you for that. Any other announcements? Yes.
Announcement of the comment. A lot of times I'll stumble upon an event, but it's happening. I have no idea what it is. Like the movie night, I didn't know about that. And maybe I'm just not looking right. But it seems like some of them, the bike rodeo that I saw the table and I was wondering that because I don't always. I live here in Blue Lake. I'm on Facebook, and I admit I don't go to the city website, but it seems like there's not enough announcements. At least not what I. And yeah, and I think that, and that's for somebody that lives in Blue Lake, so it's somebody outside of Blue Lake.
Right.
So do you mean like, the sign at the museum green or at the post office or bulletin boards? It's just not, or at the school, you have to ask,
No,
but
I don't.
you mean that, like,
I wish was a way of teaching people themselves. It goes a different way to get to the right.
okay.
The Facebook, Blue Lake happenings, all that, all that stuff. I don't know if we're integrated with them or not, but I like to follow those.
Start saying about sometimes they do it late. And I was like, okay, late, so it happened.
I was a bit embarrassed that I didn't know the bike rodeo was going on. So when I drove by, I thought, what is that? I wonder. And I found out what it was. I said, I'm on the damn commission. And I missed it. That's on me.
I know they have a calendar on their website. I don't know. Is it updated pretty good?
It is for our skate program, but I think it's definitely on us to do better on our advertising. And I think that's one of our weakest spots, in my opinion, as a recreation department, is we're good at getting all the logistics together, but as far as promoting it, we'll beat Facebook to death. But beyond that, getting out and posting flyers at the end of the day has been hard on our staff's time. And that's where I've weighed the option of, do we pay a college kid to go do it for us? Because then we get more visibility, or trying to compile other lists. Like Humberoos has a massive flyer posting list where they keep it regularly stocked and pay someone to just get their stuff everywhere. And I totally agree that being visible.
Yeah, thank you. That's what I've got to say. I look at that every week. I love that thing.
And the best, like, more suggestions of just where we could be posted out would be great too, because we're really learning and new at it all.
I don't check the city website and I don't check Facebook, but I do see the sign. I guess it's the school sign coming into town.
Yeah.
I know that's like the Rancheria has the property on the other side, but I don't know. That's like super prime because you just right when you're coming into town, you see stuff. It'd be great if you could have. I don't know if there's any city option to getting in on that sign or if they could post stuff.
Yes, ambassadors. Okay, we're excited about something. We're going to tell our friends that don't live in that it's coming. That's another. Well, you have to think about, you might take an extra hour a week to promote your events, but you're going to get paid back.
Absolutely.
With better attendance. So, and also, I don't know, the local radio stations,
I have,
There's ways to get stuff on the radio.
The PSAs are free.
Yeah. Do you?
I know
do you use
that
that?
Oh
LugNet,
yeah, all the time. Yeah.
Do your events always get on the radio?
Yes.
Okay.
Cool.
Because I've heard people
The
say, "Oh,
PSA.
we tried that, but it didn't make it on the radio." So
Oh,
I don't know.
I have an in with 96.3.
Okay.
Yeah, and also like the local radio jockeys might run around and do a big event from
Hmm.
show from the
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
or dates or something. I can't remember what they do.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I know Critter does that all the time.
Oh, yeah?
They was really
Huh.
Because I'm Andy Marinate.
We have one local radio calling from Eureka. It's 96.3. What station is that?
That's
Power 96.
Power 96. The LugNet.
That one's popular.
The LugNets, my friends.
92. I know K-Hum or KHSU. But yeah, I totally agree, and it's something that I'd like to work forward and to get feedback on as we try different stuff. And if people see it and like it or don't see it at all, it is helpful to know. You know, I live in Blue Lake and I don't know what's going on, because that shows us we really are weak and we need to build up that advertising.
A suggestion I would give is like, I know, putting anything around the roundabout is property wise not the best. But you have the yard in front of City Hall there, perhaps we could have a board like the school does that has little things you can switch in and out.
Mm-hmm.
I know we won't catch everybody per se, but you'd catch a lot of people because, you know, your weekly events right there in front of City Hall. And
Yeah.
just, you
I
know,
see the skate night sign all the time. So
yeah, it's just something
totally
like that might
in on
be
that.
simple and
That would
easy
be
access
awesome.
from your workspace.
Is it possible? I don't know if it's possible or not, but is it might be possible to put on the water bills that go out a list of the monthly events from the back of the water bills?
It could be. I think it'd be fine.
There's just
It's a little
Water
something.
bill only had like
a
one
certain
line.
amount of lines on it.
Oh, okay.
pay your bill. It's late.
Come to the
Get
best
that
of
in. They got priority.
Police with like the time standard and stuff. But I deal with those people on Sage Alexander, people like that. I don't have anything to put in. I'm scratching around for something. So if he had a more detailed thing, history, different topics each time, you might get 2 or 3 things on the front page just because they didn't have something to fill in. You know, so that might be an option is to reach out specifically to the time standard and find out who covers Blue Lake. And I think he's actually going to be covering Blue Lake on the topic here.
That's great.
And so that kind of working relationship with the media people can be really valuable.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but don't forget about Road Coast Journal because that's a lot of folks that don't do Facebook.
Yeah, I'm all over that thing.
Okay. Any other announcements or anything to chew on? All right. So our next meeting is on July 3rd, and what do we want on the agenda for that meeting?
Can we change that meeting? I won't be able to make it, so I don't know if it's possible for us to change it. If there's anybody else, so everybody else gonna be around.
No.
You're not
I
either.
think, yes, several people might be gone for
Ever good to have something up against a vacation. When people last minute cancel, it's very hard to get it for them.
Yeah.
That was my thought is if you guys want to change it to the following Monday. Not sure what that would
July
be.
10th?
Or Wednesday,
Wednesday?
my bad. Yeah.
So that'll be the
weekend for the
It will.
It'll be the
Yeah.
10th.
The Wednesday before.
Yeah.
12. No, yeah, sorry, that's true. Yeah, 10.
that might not be bad time.
Yeah.
so that's what is it, the 7th?
The 10th.
Tenth.
Wednesday?
Yeah, 10th, yeah.
One moment, please. That is.
Well,
Look at me.
Make a
20
motion
so
to move it
20th
to the 10th.
century.
Okay. We have
Yeah,
a
the
motion
10th.
on the floor to move not any Mary Day. Our next
Big motion.
our next meeting to the 10th. Do we have a second?
Second.
And all in favor of moving the meeting to the 10th, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All in, did you say aye, Bettina?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Ma'am.
Motion carries unanimously. Um, so we changed the meeting. Do we have any agenda items for Emily?
It looks like the dump site, I'll bring back
Okay.
more information about that. Our advertising, I'd like to probably bring that up. But that
Okay.
doesn't necessarily be an agenda item. If you guys want to talk about Friends of the Park again, we can.
Yeah.
And get a little bit further and
Yeah.
Yeah.
in that. Is there anything the public would like to?
I just have a thought, very effective, it's too late to use. If you don't want to be secretary anymore, put that on the agenda. Every meeting, when somebody doesn't show up, they get a. And that will be very effective way to also make sure everybody attends.
Perfect. Perfect. I like it. I'll never miss.
Excellent suggestion. I'll put that in my notes.
You could add any Mary Day parades as an agenda item and see if you can't, if anybody showed up, what would be part of that.
Sounds good.
Remember, it's blood when you were gonna be at the card from, I don't know, I think
I have not heard from Adeline, but we certainly could have them at the car show side too, park them.
they might be a good option for both there.
All right, we're down to number 12. Do we have a motion to adjourn unless anyone has anything else to cover?
Make a motion to adjourn.
I second that.
And all in favor to adjourn tonight's meeting, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, all.
Motion carries unanimously.